Alexandra Eidenberg, and this is a MeetAdvisors interview. I'm really excited to be here today with Nicole Martin. I own an insurance practice called The Insurance People, and I am the founder of an organization called Mom Plus Baby that supports women and children online, in person, and on the Hill. This is a part of our Mompreneurs series with MeetAdvisors, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. Mompreneurship is one of my favorite things, and I'm proud to be a mompreneur. Tell me more about you, though. What do you have going on? Who are you?
I love it. I'm Nicole Martin. I'm the executive director of HRBoost. I'm a mother of a 5-year-old, and I definitely would say that I'm the accidental entrepreneur. I didn't ever strategically become an entrepreneur.
Totally.
But I definitely am an entrepreneur now, and it's been a journey.
I love it. What does HRBoost do?
HRBoost is a consultative and outsourced HR service option for the middle market, essentially, for small businesses and some large businesses, I guess, in my perspective. I don't do revenue, but a head count, so like my smallest client would be a startup. And my largest client has 500 employees.
Okay, got it.
And we basically provide them opportunities to come on an a la carte project or managed service basis.
Okay, I love it. Excellent. So now you said you were an accidental entrepreneur. How did that accidentally happen?
I think that the day I became pregnant, I literally turned in my resignation.
Got it.
I had been somebody that was so looking forward to becoming a mother that I just knew that I didn't know what kind of mother I would be.
Right, definitely.
And you go through this evolution of trying to figure out what kind of mother will I be? And so for me, I just knew that I needed time to figure that out. And so told my CEO boss, I'm pregnant, and by the way, I'm resigning because I'm not 120% focused anymore.
Love it.
Yeah. And
so was there any regret in putting in that notice once you became pregnant, or kind of like a backpedal, like it was just the right thing? Okay,
never, ever. You become a mother and suddenly it's the most meaningful thing in the world, right?
I completely understand
and for me, everything else just kind of seemed not to matter as much. Right? And so my priorities shifted significantly. And the people who knew me really well, though, like even my boss, when I gave my resignation, he just came back and said, Nicole, you're always going to work. I know you well enough. Just tell me what you want. And it was like, oh. So then I had to really think about what did I want.
Right, totally.
And just owning that space and saying in terms, what are your expectations for yourself and your space.
I've heard you say that your number one client is your child, and I thought that was such a great way of describing it. Now, tell me a little bit more about how, in your day-to-day business life, how do you prioritize your son, and what does that look like for you? And how do you serve your number one client while also serving all of your business clients?
I think for me, it started really about I started consulting when I started my business in 2010. And that's when my son was very young. And I was breastfeeding, of course. Right. Which is a whole other animal. I did that for 15 months. And so, as you're going through that, you need these windows where everything's scheduled on your terms.
Definitely.
And so I did work around that. And then I think when it just continued to evolve, word of mouth took, effect.
Yeah, definitely.
And next thing you know, it just took, luckily, pace for me with my child's evolution.
Right.
And so by the time, he was basically freed up to spend time with my husband. And we have a commitment in our family, which is our son is always with family, and we're blessed with family. And I think it does take that support network around you, including his Nana. It's like he's either with daddy, Nana, or, some family member. And for me, I thought that was important for me to let go of that as well, right? Because I think it's important for my child to adapt to different personalities. Right. And learn that as well, and his family. So as I stepped back and gave that opportunity, the business just continued to evolve to the point that it was more than just me consulting.
Right, and now you have a staff, and so it's more like more children kind of thing. I know that for me, managing my staff, it's almost like I have this set of kids at my first baby, the business, and I have all those kids over there, and then I have my family, and it's about this happy medium. So I find mompreneurship to be this amazing thing where I'm getting to have the career I deserve, but my children are getting to have the mom they deserve. What does mompreneurship mean to you?
To me, it really means that it is on my terms. And part of being a good mother, in my opinion, has become not losing myself. And also, I had to sit back one day, I went to a silent retreat to figure it out. To literally say, who am I?
Right.
Who am I when I take my mother role away? Who am I when I take my wife role away, my girlfriend role away, my job?
Right.
Who am I?
Right.
And I really had to sit back and think about that. And now I ask it of people that I hire, which is what are the three things that drive your happiness, your joy every day. And for me, it was to harmonize and to connect and to communicate. And if I wasn't doing those three things every day, I was not happy. I became not me. And then I'm not going to be the great mother that I want to be to my child, to live passionately and
Right.
alive. And
I talk about the passion a lot. I
Yeah.
always say what makes you most passionate and focus on those things. And I find often as business owners, as moms, we do the things we're not passionate about and we're just going through the motions there. And I always tell women around me, focus on what you're passionate about
Right.
and just let the rest fall into place.
Absolutely.
And when you not that it's all about self-service, but when, the mom is served, the family is served
Right,
kind of
right.
thing. And that allows you to be the best parent you can be.
Right.
Now, I think that as a business owner, as a mom, there's always ups and downs. What are some of the hardships you've gone through?
Yeah, I would say the biggest hardship, I think initially when my son was younger, was identifying that I wanted to work.
Yeah.
And that was part of who I was.
Yeah.
And that I had more to give than just inside my house. And
Right.
even though there's tons to do inside the
Interestingly,
house.
your previous boss knew that of you.
Yeah.
Knew that you
Yeah.
had an innate need to work. So
Well, just an innate need to give and service.
Yeah. Okay,
I
got it.
really
I love
believe in service.
Yeah.
And for me, I can serve. I'm high energy. I can freak people out, and I think.
I don't have that problem at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, we have that in common. But like to be just
Yeah.
in my house, as much as I could allocate all of that into my home, which that would be a tremendous gift. I share that with my husband, and he
Right.
has his own needs as well, and we
Yeah.
balance that. So I had still more to give.
Right.
And so I just took it outside of my house,
Yeah.
and started sharing that in a sense of service. I consider what I do in HR to be workplace ministry, and
Yeah.
so I literally try to go into businesses and actually harmonize and,
Yeah.
and create solutions that help other people that are leaders and entrepreneurs
Right.
be effective in what they're doing.
I like it. Excellent. So it's like you're getting to serve in these other businesses and
Yeah.
help them live their passions. That's
Absolutely,
fantastic.
yeah.
So what are some of the successes you've had in business?
I think the success is almost as overwhelming as the hardships, like overcoming the fear. As the business, you get referral after referral after referral.
Yeah.
One day it becomes more than you.
Right.
Like it was just not enough work just for Nicole. It was like, okay, I'm going to have to
Yeah.
become an employer.
Right.
Do I want to be an employer? Because I really knew what that meant.
Right. It's a lot of work, and if you're in HR, you know all about it.
Yeah,
So,
I really understood
Yeah.
the liability piece of that as well. And so I definitely, I stopped returning calls. I stopped networking for about 6 months. I remember
Yeah.
literally avoiding it.
Yeah.
And so really understanding that the phone keeps ringing,
Right.
that this is a blessing.
High
and
class
that-
problems.
Yeah, like just really, and then channeling it properly. For me, it
Right.
became, okay, this is a gift and it doesn't have to be just about me and my time.
Yeah.
How can I create jobs for other people?
Totally.
And I just literally embraced it one day.
Yeah.
And I started hiring.
I love it.
Well,
Well, and I think that creating employment for people is such an amazing feeling as
Yeah.
well. But then it's also, it's almost like a liability in itself because then you want to make sure that you're providing for
Right.
them, you're able to give them raises, see their family
Yes.
grow more, and it's this whole process. In my business, I know that, growing doesn't necessarily mean more money for my partners and I,
Correct.
too. It just means more market share.
Yeah.
And it's a business model that can be sometimes hard to decide. Do we want the larger market
Right.
share or do we want less stress?
Right.
And it's that happy medium. And I, since becoming a mom, just like you said, they're your number one client. And I'm always, like, that's the immediate thing is
Right.
that I'm going to make sure my kids are put first and then everything else will kind of fall into
Right.
place.
Right.
But I know for myself that I'm a total workaholic and it's
Yeah.
always kind of that process. How do you turn on and off? And I think that one of the things I always hear mompreneurs talking about is that sometimes, have that client need, but then you're also your child has a need, and where do you balance these things, and what are some of your greatest tips on that?
For me, I'm just 100% authentic in the moment. I've even been with a CEO client and literally he wanted my time and I just said, I'm sorry, I have another client that needs me. And
Right.
he said, well, who would that be? I said, that's my child, my number one client. And that's where that came
Yeah.
from. It was like, I had to establish boundaries, and as the business has grown, it's become even more challenging on me to establish and keep those boundaries.
Yeah.
Because you are trying to be of service.
Yeah.
But I think once you look in the mirror every day and you
Yeah.
remind yourself, you control this beast.
Yeah, totally.
Then you're affirmed that you can't put those boundaries in place.
Yeah. No, I totally understand with the boundaries. My mommy days
Yeah.
are Tuesday, Thursday.
That's great.
And my girls still nap for quite a few hours, so I do
Right.
get a lot of work done during those days. But I emailed someone recently. I was like, I don't take meetings on Tuesday, Thursdays. They're like,
Right.
well, could you squeeze me in? No, actually, I can't.
Right.
Once again, I don't take meetings on Tuesday,
Right.
Thursdays. And I think it's kind of hard for people to understand. And I just kind of played it off. I have office days, but really
Right.
it's my mommy days, and those
Right.
days are just as precious
Absolutely.
as my business days.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, what is your website, or how can we learn more about you online?
My website's www.hrboost.com.
Excellent. I love it. Well, thank you for your
Thank
time today. This has
you.
been amazing, Nicole. I'm so excited to work with you more and get to know you and your
Likewise.
son.
Likewise.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm Alexandra Eidenberg. This is a MeetAdvisors Mompreneur interview. Please check us out for more videos and blogs at MeetAdvisors.com. Thanks so much.